We're going to Mars.
Welcome to a very special edition of SpaceX People. We have the To the Stars edition today. So one is we just had the test, the fourth test of the Starship rocket just happened about a week ago. And during this whole time, something happened in our area, which is a mural that just happened that's based on a meme. And I have the person responsible for that here today, Louis, the 22nd. I'm going to call you the 22nd, but Louis 22. How are you, Louis?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Great to have you here, man. Thank you for joining me. You have caused, at least in our town so far, and actually already beyond, because I already saw an article in San Antonio, some noise, right? Yeah. Out of nowhere.
I've seen one article from Mexico.
There you go. Yeah, so now it's even international. Yeah. So in the first thing is like, if you don't know what we're talking about, on Highway 4, which we call Boca Chica Road, Louis, for some reason, had an idea to build a structure, a concrete structure, and then put a mural of a famous meme, Alastra, right? That somebody made, like I think in 2019 or 2002, somewhere around there. And so it's very famous online. Yeah. But now it's a physical mural that you can see on your way if you're driving to SpaceX and look at the rockets, which is incredible.
You cannot miss it. I mean, if you go to Starbase from Brownsville, there is only one way to go there.
Right.
You're going to see it. And
I think a lot of people are going to see it. A lot of people, I don't know how long. I know you only been here a couple of weeks or like very soon, but people from all over the world come and go to that space now. So people from all over the world are going to see this.
Yeah, we got some Germans stopping by, people from Europe also went for lunch, to see that. So
a lot of people are seeing it, and it's made a lot of noise. I've seen a lot of positive and a lot of negative comments, right? Yeah. Which is weird. I think a lot of not understanding too, right? Maybe.
What I like the most is the negative one, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me, and there was this post on Facebook. I don't recall the name of the guy. But he said something like, it's not what I expected. And to me, it was very, very funny in the sense that I didn't know that I had to ask your permission, So maybe next time I'll do something, I'll ask you, what you want to see on the mural, and it's going to be fine. But it's very funny. And what I like, it's the positive, the negative. And right now, these days, in the coffee machine, when you go to have a chat with your colleague and maybe you talk about the war, it
could come up.
I'll be happy to explain more about it. Yeah.
But what seems, the other thing that I liked about it, or that seems cool to me as a pop-up, right? Because I view it as a pop-up. It's very like Banksy type thing where you didn't tell anybody. It just all of a sudden was there, right? And it's like street art that just was there. And now it's a little more representative of what's actually going on here and what's happening here, because obviously it's about Elon, and Elon actually drives that road. Mm-hmm. So he'll see it eventually. So I don't know if he's seen it yet.
I'm sure he's heard about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's heard about it. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't pay attention. He's pretty busy, especially with the launch. There's stuff to do, but he's gonna know.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna know about it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna see it because he drives through that road. But so let's start at the beginning. Why did you do this? What happened to you?
Why? So to explain, to make some context around that. So we are a collective of people on the blockchain. We are digital artists, developers, building in that area. And we have an approach where we develop digital art, and also we like to collect art. And one funny representation on the blockchain is also the memes that conveys lots of messages, and it's part of the internet culture.
Right.
And on the blockchain, you can collect this meme. You have the traceability, where you bought it, the provenance and everything. And one of the art we own is this famous meme of Elon that got very famous in 2019. He started on Reddit, then it blew up because obviously the guy who made this drawing, didn't know the impact, but he was very happy to say, "Oh, what do you think about this drawing, guys?" And it blew up. It was obviously very funny, and it came to the attention of Elon, and he commented that.
I saw that. Yes,
it's like looking in a mirror,
right?
So he had a good, funny, reaction about that, and also what we wanted to do is to bring visibility to this kind of art and representing a lot of stuff and involving the original artists. Also, his name is Watchy Boy.
Watch Boy?
Watchy Boy.
Watchy Boy.
Who posted.
So he knows this happened?
Yeah, he knows. He's part of the project.
So you are in contact with him?
Yeah, we are in contact with him.
How old is this guy?
I don't know.
Because he was young, no? He was young when he did the 2019 thing, I think, or no?
I guess he's in his mid-20s.
Okay.
I don't know. I know he's from Northern Europe. But yeah, we're in touch with him.
Okay.
Of course, we keep, the guy and the artist involved in the project. So it's all together. And what we want also is to give, thanks to the blockchain and this kind of art, is also to give the credit to the original guy who created this impactful image. Because everybody is using the meme. And the guy is not
right. Nobody knows who it is or why it is. Now they do. Like a lot. Like I told you, I read the article in San Antonio, and they mention him. Yeah, right. Awesome. So now, like this thing that he did in 2019 is resurfacing and reliving this whole thing again.
Especially on Twitter, it's very famous meme, and so our ID behind
X. You mean X?
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I still,
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just messing with you.
I know. So, okay, on X. And so what we want to do also in this kind of art, digital art, we want to show the people, what it is and, to educate and see what we can do, fun stuff, still, initially, the good part of many projects on the blockchain started as a joke, as a fun project. And so we are bringing that into life. And with the meme, with our friend in this collective of people on the blockchain, artists and dev, we were like, what can we make? What action can we do in the real world that, could, bring more impact and visibility? So we wanted to bring this meme from X to life. What can we do? So we started brainstorming, and we have this friend called Talex. He said, maybe we could rent a commercial billboard on the way to SpaceX so that people would see it. And then pushing the idea, we're like, maybe we should make a mural, because we've seen, looking online, why SpaceX, Brownsville, and everything. We've seen online some nice murals, the astronaut, and many very beautiful stuff. And we're like, okay, let's try to make a mural. So I arrived here. I was the one saying, okay, I can take care of that.
Okay, wait. Before you go forward, because this is very interesting to me. So you're in France. I don't know whether you're in France at this time when you're having these conversations, but you're already aware of Brownsville at that moment, right? When you guys are making these decisions or planning this out, you're aware that there's murals happening in Brownsville, the artistic movement that's also accompanying the SpaceX thing that's starting to happen.
Exactly.
And several people or your group is now aware of what's going on. And to me, it's fascinating because I live here, right?
Thousands of people from now, we have a big community following us. So thousands of people know
about Brownsville, about SpaceX, what's happening here.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
How did we know about Brownsville? It's just like we started to know where is the SpaceX facility.
Right.
So it's on Boca Chica.
Right.
It's on Brownsville. And then, so what about Brownsville? So you look on Wikipedia, and that's how we got to know all this mural and learning about the city, and we decided to come.
Now, the other part that's fascinating to me is why SpaceX or why Elon? Like, obviously, you have a bunch of things you could pick to make this message that you want or to communicate like more awareness for blockchain. But why the picking of this specific?
Yeah. The way we picture, we want to promote visibility and get more attention from people. It's not in the fair, the regular fair that we don't really go. There's some blockchain event, we barely go there, and in a way, we like to be crazy and degen, as we say. We love to do silly shit and just for the fun. And we're like, okay, so that's the face of Elon. That's a funny one. Elon knows about it, so let's troll him.
Yeah.
And he's got a sense of humor too.
Right.
So we think, it was a funny way. So we were like, okay, instead of going to do like interview in specialized magazines or fair, we're like, okay, let's raise attention and let's, show Elon, maybe he'll be the one, it's going to be fun, just to raise his attention. It started like this.
Right.
Yeah, just as simple as that.
It's working. right? It's the attention is working.
I mean, people talk about it around here and online. It's something like if you want to look up on Twitter, we have our account. It's Elon RWA because RWA stands for Real World Asset.
Okay.
So you'll see lots of videos. We're sharing lots of content. We retweet lots of stuff. And
we'll put the link here so you guys can see it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And that was the idea, just to poke Elon, let's say, in a fun way, and poke the people. And we know like how marketing wise you can do something fun and impactful and different. Just at the end of the day, we're like, it's going to be fun. That's just the idea we had. We did not have the projection of, we have to, of course, put some money. What's the return? We didn't care about that. We just wanted to have fun and, poke Elon. That was the funny idea.
So you keep saying it's a collective. It's a group. So why do they pick Louis 22 to head to Brownsville? Like, how was Louis selected to go to do this thing?
In this project, I'm one of the founder. I've been funding different projects with these guys. And I was really involved in this meme fractionalization on the blockchain, something we can talk later. So that anybody who wants to be part of the project, you can also invest in this piece of art. It's got a value.
Okay.
This meme. So I've been really involved in that. I've been funding it with Lil Dojo. We have Cryptopathic. We have Ultron. We have dressed many people, are more famous on Twitter. So I'm one of the funding guys.
Yeah, but why did you come? Like, what, or was it your choice?
I was available at that time.
Yeah, okay, that was my question, yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, who can go? I'm like, okay.
I can go.
I can go. And I've always liked to travel, and I like the challenge.
And you're here by yourself. Out of the group, you're the only one here.
Yeah.
That's
I arrive alone. So I just took from one day to another, I took my plane ticket to Houston, and from Houston, I drove around here. I booked a place online to stay, and back in the days, I think I rented a place for 2 weeks, and I thought that would be really quick. Maybe find some artists. We really wanted to work with local artists also.
Yeah, he's really good.
So it's Carlos.
Carlos.
So we have to give big credit to him.
He's really good.
He's an amazing artist.
He's done some of the downtown ones.
Yeah, the astronaut one. It's him.
It's him.
It's huge and beautiful, and he's very involved, hard worker, very talented. And when we got to meet together, he was actually making a mural, and I stopped by and I said, "Oh, can we talk together? I have this crazy idea." And he's been like, "Okay, that's fun." I could perceive in his eyes he was not sure about it, but he liked the challenge, and we had the coffee, kept talking, and he was down for it. And I'm very happy that I made that with him. So Carlos Guerrero, big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to him, man. That's amazing because we just did the inauguration in the city. We had Space Fest. I don't know.
I've been there
like a week or two ago, and they did inauguration for the astronaut one. And so he's getting a lot of work.
He made that within just a night.
Yeah,
within a night.
Oh, really?
The wall was ready, and he came and made it so quick.
So that's the other thing. The wall or the concrete. You had to find somebody to make that for you.
Yeah.
Where did you find? Because there was no wall there. There's nothing there.
Nothing at all. Yeah. So I'll go back also to the genesis. So I wanted to make just a mural. I wanted to make a mural in downtown, and I started talking with people to make it happen, prospecting where I could go, and I didn't know anybody.
Right.
So it's a walk of knocking on doors and talking to people, pitching the idea, convincing people.
This crazy French guy just walking around, just like I want to do this. Yeah,
you see the combo: the French guy, a blockchain project, paintings.
Yeah.
Okay, so. But I'm happy people here are very welcoming, and they all listen to my project. And so I started prospecting on the way to SpaceX.
Right.
So each time I would see a mural with a nice angle from the road, or people could see that, I would stop by and ask, if we could, make this happen somehow. And I pushed, closer to SpaceX.
Right.
And on the way to SpaceX, I found this land. There was nothing around, and some people walking in this range. And I said, okay, I'm going to stop by and talk to them. Also, it was in the process of prospection. And same, they were, why not? Let's talk about it. And with everybody I talked, and these guys were very hyped about it. And I said, that's the best location. So we started talking, and the owner of this land knew this person in construction, and we've been introduced. I explained, the type of wall I wanted to. It's actually the neighbor of this other land, and we made this happen. That's how I found him. Everything got very smooth. That's
Yeah.
when you are very collected, you really put lots of effort. I've talked with many people.
Yes.
You somehow make
You
your way
found
through.
make it. Yeah.
And all the planet got aligned. And I said, okay, so I really need to make that. Everything is getting so easy at the beginning, of course, very hard
Right.
to make my way through. And I also got to meet you guys, and everything got together. So I was happy. So that's how it happened initially. So the process to build the wall it took like, I don't know, few weeks, 3 weeks. And it was supposed to be smaller. And the funny story behind is, in France, we use meters.
Oh yeah, of course,
for dimension.
Yes.
And talking with the entrepreneur making the wall, the constructor, I got confused with inch,
yards or feet or all that crap. Yeah.
And when he contacted me to have a look on the wall, on the steps, and I realized that was very small,
right,
to what I had in mind. This problem of conversion and dimension, we need to make it bigger and make it bigger. So that was a funny story, and yeah, this happened.
How big is it, the wall?
So now the height is almost 21 feet.
Okay.
Tall by 16 feet width.
Wow, that's big. Yeah, it's pretty big. That's pretty big. And so, okay, and then you found Carlos, right? You start putting it all together, and this was done. What day did you guys finish it?
I guess the night before the launch.
The night before the launch.
So, yeah.
Wow. Like right before.
Right before. The timing.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Was aligned. It was very funny. And that was the challenge. The wall was ready. And I said, Carlos, if you can, it would be great to have it for the launch.
Right.
And I would think it would take maybe 2 or 3 days. I don't really know about it. And he told me, no, it's okay. I can make it very fast. And I was, okay, you're the boss. Let's see. And it's been so fast, so very, very.
No, that's so what happens, I imagine you saw this. I don't know if you did, but so everybody goes, did you go watch the launch?
Yeah, I was there.
At Isla Blanca, or where did you watch it?
No, I was by the wall.
Okay. So most of the people go to Isla Blanca, which is on the island, right? On South Padre Island. And what happens is either that day, later that day, or the next day when they open the street to the public, everybody goes, right? So having it right then when it's going to have the most impact, because everybody that came to watch the launch is now wants to go see the place where they launched it. So everybody goes through that road now. And so the impact that you had was very quick, very easy for it to get to spread out quickly, because that right after the launch, everybody's going to start going to Boca Chica or to SpaceX. So that was amazing timing. That's awesome.
Yeah, there will be another launch from what I understood, like a month's time.
Well, they always say that, and then
Okay.
So if you listen to Elon, they're launching every 2 weeks. Okay. Right, like according in his mind, it's like but then there's FAA and there's regulations and all that and lawsuits and every time there's a launch, there's lawsuits and all that stuff. So it takes a while, but yes, I think what they want to do is obviously speed it up.
Yeah.
So I think right now launches have been happening every 2-3 months. I would think I heard somewhere that originally the plan is every month or every 6 weeks to have a launch, right? Which is awesome for us because obviously the impact of people visiting us and more people coming and all of that obviously helps our community. So we're always, at least me, I'm very excited about it. Yeah, there are some people that are not, but I'm very excited about it all the time. So yeah, it's I think, but things like this, like what you did, and the other thing that I really liked was art, right? Yeah. And I think art creates this impact that's different than just let's create an event or let's create this thing. Art just becomes transcends, right? Yeah, and exactly. We said, there's always negative and positive, but that's the chatter that you want, right? You want chatter. You want people to talk about this, and then why, right? Like I don't think I didn't know till I started talking to you that this was related to blockchain, right? I just think this crazy French dude just came and filled the thing for no reason, right? That's what I thought, right?
Exactly. So I guess that's the story of the maybe negative vision of it. It's maybe people who needs to know more about it, because it's when you have sensitivity towards art, and art takes so many different forms.
Right.
Could be painting, could be even if you see somebody taking care of his flowers, and the way the
Yeah.
person take care of his flowers
The way
with
he
love,
does it. Right.
it's you can feel, this emotion. So that's
Cooking. Yeah. Different.
everything
Yeah.
is a type of art, and when you're open about it, it takes different form. And I'm a part of this digital art form, and that's what I wanted to bring into life. Yeah.
So let's go a little bit into that digital art form. And just to like tell you where I'm at when you say that is obviously we had in 2020, 2021, the NFT boom, right? And that's how like I saw the transformation of like, let's say memes into something of value, right? Or like monetary value, right? Not obviously the memes have value of like transcendent or communication, but now everybody wanted to put value on everything digital, right? Like I took a picture of this water bottle. It's got value because I have it.
You can.
I have a
Technically, you can take a picture and put it on the blockchain
Yes.
of whatever. But then it's like art. Initially, you do it for yourself.
Why? Yeah.
Have fun, and maybe some people will like it and will be eager to buy
yes,
it.
yes. And then you have people like Beeple that did this incredible like collection of art that was able to like really garner it at the peak of this monetary value. Somebody actually purchasing this and giving NFTs. I think that was the big thing that get NFTs like this boom, right? Like that purchase of his art was like now everybody's paying attention. Like, oh,
especially it was sold by a big institution in the world of art, which is Christie's. So all put that together, it gave also credibility to the project, being recognized by big institution. Like right now, blockchain and crypto is been approved by the SEC.
yes,
BlackRock also has got his own fund, and so when you see it's getting very very
Yes.
serious. It's developing very fast when you have this big institution in the game also. So yeah, people brought eyes to NFT, and I know he produces art every day.
Right.
The guy is a machine.
yeah. He still does it, I think.
And I
yeah.
like is that because he posts with the X vision,
Right.
with the crypto X vision, and it's very funny. It's always make references to what's happening on X and the world also. So now this guy is very talented. That it was a good way, and this kind of impactful moment give credibility, and slowly we are building
And moves it up,
something.
right?
Moves it up,
yeah.
and to raise people attention, and they can question it. And people that like art and NFT, they are already people embracing it, and that's why I prefer even talk with people who are negative, who don't know, who have question, skeptical, because that's how you demystify and to show that it's actually. Let me answer everything and to show you that it's not the deal. Of course not, and just it's made with a positive purpose. It's through art. It's also technology. Maybe now you don't like NFT, you don't have what's around the blockchain. Maybe back in the days you didn't like internet,
right?
When everybody was saying it was a trend and it's just going to pass, and we are all using internet. And I really believe in the future, it's a new industry, it's a new sector where everything will be linked to the blockchain. It's transparent, it's public, it's instant, it's cheap to use. So all that together, it's yeah.
I'm an idiot. So I want to especially in this subject, right? And I'm not an idiot, but I don't have a great comprehension of it, right? I'll tell you what I know, okay, or how I envision it, so you can kind of explain it to me, so people can kind of understand it, right? So I really started understanding because I told you I'm a photographer. So I really started understanding when NFTs popped up more than when cryptocurrency popped up, right? Because cryptocurrency, I was like, what? I kind of get it, but I didn't. Now with NFTs, I kind of like started understanding, right? So I'm going to explain what I understand, and then you tell me why I'm wrong. so what I understand, right? And I'll take the NFT sample, right? It's that what I can do is digitally now, I can identify this thing as an original, right? And that is, I'll call it like a code, or what we use in the US is a social security number, or an identifying chain, right? I mean, you guys might call it chain, or I don't know what it's technically called, but it's kind of like a code that says this picture of this water bottle, I can always link it back to this code or this number that now tells me that I understand. I think is the same as a Bitcoin, right? If I have one Bitcoin, it links to this particular thing. That's why I know it's mine, because it's in my wallet or it's in my collection of codes that I have. I have this Bitcoin. I might have 10 of them, but every Bitcoin has its own code. So I can give you one. I still have my other 9 because I have those codes. And then that can be broken down into a bunch of codes, right? Like now my Bitcoin, I can now divide it into 100 codes and give you just a portion of my Bitcoin. I don't have to give you just one Bitcoin. I can give you like 1/10 of my Bitcoin. And so what I'm kind of understanding is that it's a thing where we can securely identify and give ownership of digital and now physical things or things. So now, because I've also seen it now being used with property, right? You could actually tie this. This is the example I saw in real estate. I could take a picture of a house, convert it into an NFT, attach the title to that house, to that NFT, and I sell you the NFT and you take ownership of that house because I'm selling you the title at the same moment. So now explain to me how I messed it all up.
No, you're pretty right. And you to me, you use the most important word, which is ownership. The blockchain is just a transfer of ownership. And it shows that I passed on this ownership to you. So it can have the form of crypto. It can have the form of digital art NFT. It could be information, different form of it. So it shows publicly that I transfer to you. That's as simple as that. Then technically, you have smart contract, and that's another topic. But if I have to make it very simple, it's transfer of ownership. It's the same way you say you have your identity number,
right,
or you have your company.
Right.
So when you have your company, you have your yourself, you have your social security number, which links to you. So it's the same. You have your wallet numbers, right, identification that is linked to you, that you own, and whatever is passing through that, it's yours. It's very simple. So you can exchange in the smart contract. So I said, like, can have different form. It could be art, it could be real estate. So in the contract of this transfer of ownership, digitally speaking, it's a transfer of ownership. It's a transfer of contract. So this contract, you can write, it's a real estate, it's a car, it's a documentation. Some people in logistic company use that to show the proof of document when it goes to the port, and when it's the departure port to the arrival port also. So that's, to me, an easy way to understand that.
To simplify it.
I don't know if you understand me, but if you understand me that way, I mean, that's the nice way the easy way to perceive that.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper now into it. Okay, so now the other component that I hear a lot, and I think you even said it when you walked in, is decentralization, right? That's the other component that in my mind, right? I don't know if it's the other component in your mind, but in my mind, right? Yeah. So now it's, okay, back to, like, this is a picture of this thing, but in commerce, let's say in the US, how I would understand it, right? It's like, every time I transfer something or I sell you something, right, the government wants to know, because one, they want to tax us, right? They want their piece of the pie, right? It's like, you made money, where's my piece? So that's one component. The other thing to me is banking. I'm just explaining to you how I understand banking, right? It's like service fees, and, like, in order for you to give me money, you're gonna have to pay the bank. Yeah. Right? Like, I can't just give you money. I have to give you a credit card, right? Yeah, and now there's a fee, a 3% fee. Or even if I just transfer money to you, there could be a service fee from the bank, right? And my understanding is now, with using blockchain, is me and you don't need anybody else. You could just say, I want that truck that you have. I'm going to give you this Bitcoin, and you're going to give me the truck. And we don't need to involve any other parties. We don't need to involve the bank. We don't need to involve the thing. Is that accurate?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because it's decentralized, so it means that you have intermediary, but you have multiple of them. People on the blockchain, for you to understand, so to make this transaction happen, technically speaking, it's you're using computer power to solve equation. So to transfer the ownership,
Yes.
you on the network you have lots of people saying, okay, I'm transferring to you this ownership, and I validate this transaction. I say this is true. So there are like thousands of people acknowledging about it and validating it to make it possible. And then when everybody on the blockchain validate that, the transaction pass. But this goes it's instant.
It's instant, kind of like a banking transaction.
Exactly. So actually, you have people, intermediaries, but it's fragmented, it's decentralized. So comparison with the current system, if I want to buy a car to you, and maybe I need the proof of fundings,
Right?
So or I need the legal guy acknowledging that I have the money on my bank account to give to you to buy this truck,
which creates a fee.
Exactly, and you actually have only one guy because it's like oligopolistic. You have few banks,
right?
Where in the decentralized and blockchain networks, you have thousands of people and it's changing all the time. There is not one guy saying, okay, I'm the guy.
I'm the one that decides.
Without me, the deal is not going.
Right.
You cannot make the deal. No, you cannot make the deal anyway. Right now, if you want to buy a house, if you want to have a loan, you have to go to few banks and that's it.
Right.
So that's the parallel. So it's decentralized. So it's not only one guy. It's not only one identity. And everybody on this blockchain solving this equation to allow the transaction get a small fees, a small percentage. It's very, very small.
Right.
It's much smaller than the banking system. Or even I have a friend is traveling to Brazil, for example, is asking me to send him money. So I have to ask the bank to send him money, to convert this money. And then it takes a few days.
Right.
It's few days. And blockchain allows to instant and very cheap. And you don't have to ask anybody if you have the fund, it goes directly.
Yes. So taking that further, right? You started talking about the like solving of the mathematical issues, right? So now we look at farming, right? Oh, I call it farming. I don't know what you guys call it, but obviously there's warehouses now that we are aware of, right? That are just dedicated to solving these mathematical formulas. And in exchange, they make a little bit of Bitcoin every time that happens, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so now that is what you're saying. Like when you told me that a bunch of people decide that transaction is good and then it happens, do you mean when you say a bunch of people, does that mean really a bunch of computers or a bunch of people that have computers that are activated? That's what I'm unclear about.
Yeah, so these are mining facilities.
That's what I mean, yeah.
So when you say I'm mining crypto, I'm mining, so what you have behind is these equations are not solved by guy behind the computer and trying to solve 1 + 1 = 2. It's more complicated than that. That's why you need machine. And what it is, actually, it's you have different type of mining system and hardware. You have ASICs, and you could also have graphic cards. You can use computing cards, GPUs, CPUs. So you have different type of hardware to use, but it's just like, let's say you store in your warehouse or wherever all these machines that are working by itself. Of course, you have maintenance because sometimes it gets used. Electricity. So you have to monitor also the cost because it uses lots of energy. So yeah, you just let it run by itself and you monitor it. So it's just like you have this big. Maybe you've seen the data center for the internet. It looks like the same, just different machine,
but
different purpose.
But the machines, when they're doing this, are actually validating transactions.
Exactly. So if there is one machine breaking, there is always another one to take the job of the other one. So it's a rotation everywhere in the world. So that's why it's not centralized. It's everywhere in the world. You can mine from anywhere. You just need electricity and some graphic cards, CPUs or ASICs. And
that makes more sense. Ready. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Like when you started, and I'm like, okay, how do I put it together? Now it makes a lot of sense. Okay, now, why are you passionate about it? What like, and not even you, like the collective that you're talking about, right? Like, what makes it a project for you? Because it's obviously, it might benefit you personally, but not in the sense where like you could just do it without telling other people that you're doing it, right? But you guys are actually taking an obviously you just started a campaign to like make people aware of this, right? So you're not just like, I'll do it, I'll make some Bitcoin, I'm investing in it. You're also now trying to say like, hey, here's what we're doing, and become aware that this is here, and this could help. Or but why did you guys start that?
So I guess initially we are a group of guy and women keen on innovation and technology. That's the basics. And the chance that we have in our group, and we have OGs, as we say, the
Right.
slang, guys that's been building in the blockchain since the early days when nobody would care about it somehow. And we also want to represent the culture, trying to get to the surface to show the people what it is. So it's are the people behind, what is the story behind, and the positive idea behind. So we need some people to raise their voice and to educate people. So that's the whole action about it. And it all started collecting piece of internet culture, and then we got together. Okay, let's put it all together, and let's embrace. And let's welcome anybody who want to join us,
Right.
because it's like nowadays you have some people who owns Picasso or big painting. They just, some people
Right.
like to display, but that's their own 100%. What we wanted to do is to welcome the people. So we tokenized this famous meme representing our culture of the people who's been building in the blockchain for long time, for since the early days. And we wanted to take more, bring more people, have more fun. It's always related to fun. And so we decided to tokenize these memes, and anybody can invest in that also,
Right.
like part of it. And it's taking value over time, because people in our microcosms, in our niche, they know who we are. They know this meme, and they are taking part of it. And now we want to embrace more people with us, and to educate and to bring the public and to share with the people. And when you open this ownership, it's something at the beginning that you give to the community. It's a gift, because you say, okay, it's not going to be for me,
Right.
but maybe half of it, 75% of it, I open for the people. I don't know if people are going to buy that, but I just give the opportunity. So that's all the idea behind is, not only we love building, we love the tech, we love the nerd stuff,
Right.
but we also love art, and we have artists in our community. People maybe that they don't code, but they love art, and it's a very melting pot of people with different skills, different vision of life, and everybody is welcome. And we also mentioned previously the governance
Right.
tokens. You can also vote directly, so it's like a new type of stock exchange somehow. That
Yes.
is very fast, and there is a direct link with the people. So you connect on Discord, on X, and you can find us, and we are always happy to talk with people. We are very easy to talk to, and next time when we have action, we proceed to a vote, like this wall or other things that we do with different meme that we have. We have other famous meme, like the Doge.
Dogecoin.
The Dogecoin. So the image of Doge, we have with people.
I bought Dogecoin once and sold it. I made a little bit of money and sold it just for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. But the image behind, that's an NFT. That's a famous meme.
Yeah.
And we own that. We own the other one, Giga Chat. I don't know if you know, but that's a famous meme. The keyboard cat, the keyboard cat.
Yes.
Yeah, So we have many, many memes. And we're like, okay, let's have fun. Let's tokenize it. It's part of the culture. We have to save it. We have to keep that alive.
It's like documenting the culture.
And finding the original artist also, so that he can get credit about that. So we are really in the movement of sharing, and together we're stronger.
Yes.
And it's normal, like for the Elon phase, like Watchy Boys is also getting some money out of it. It's normal. Everybody's using it. It's fun. It needs to be known. He's doing other art, like the Doge behind the Giga Chat. And it's being fair. The blockchain is about public being fair. It's transparent. So let's go back to the exchange that we mentioned about the truck. So it's forever public on the blockchain. So forever we can have this trace. I bought the truck, or vice versa. So that's the whole point about it.
So obviously right now, in the moment that we're in, right, it's been overtaken by the chatter of AI, right? Obviously, everybody's talking about AI now. But my question on blockchain is now that we're not like looking at it as much is like really what is the future of it? I get what we're doing right now, what you explained to me that is possible right now, right? And I'll give you an example of what I've heard, right? And that's what I want you to go is like, look, if you really wanted to have a fair election for president, just for example of the United States, it would probably be way easier to do something like this with a blockchain where you could just do it on your phone. You don't even have to go to the library or where you go now and do this whole process like that. You could probably include way more people than we really include because the percentage of people that really go out to vote is very low. But if you put it, everybody's got a phone in their hand. And if you could prove the security of your vote, that it really counts, right? Like they always say that. You always hear like your vote counts, but then you really understand that it doesn't really, right? It's like if you live in Texas and you're a Democrat, if you're voting for president, does your vote really count? Because we always vote Republican, right? So it's like, you voted, and it kind of counted, but not really because so that's one example that I think the future, and I'm talking about way in the future. I don't think the U.S. is anywhere near close to going to something like that, but what other aspects do you think blockchain could take that that from in the future?
Any transaction, any exchange of information, I guess, will be encrypted on the blockchain eventually. You mentioned the vote. We mentioned buying stuff. We mentioned everything related to ownership. Nowadays, I'm seeing even public project getting into life in this use case. Last one I've seen in Europe was this big project about what's it called in the medicine area in surgery. People. I don't know how to explain, but it's like when you have deficiency with your heart. Sometimes people have a medical machine helping to pump.
Yes.
And this is actually a small engine that could
like a pacemaker.
Exactly get or even more complicated stuff. And maybe you can be traveling and you can have a problem with some part of this mechanism in your body. And if you have attached to in the blockchain all the piece of the components of this
machine,
of this machine, anybody if you have a problem in another country, maybe you can find the spare part easily. It's encrypted, it's easy access to information, and it's traceable. So I'm seeing like lots of projects coming into life about traceability, about transaction. And again, we are in the age of it's pretty new, and there is this development, and it's very hard to foresee, to tell you in this concrete area everybody's gonna use it. It's like way back I mentioned back in the days about internet, we wouldn't know, like we would have TikTok, WhatsApp. We didn't know about it. So about blockchain, in my point of view, it's gonna ease transaction and proof of ownership, and people will be transparent, because when you are, I guess, you want to do a thing around you, nice stuff, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you have no problem about revealing, being public, and to show what you do, your transaction. So I guess it's going to ease a lot of use case. Even now, I've seen real estate being transacted on the blockchain, showing that you have the ownership. Digital art. I told you, like in the international trade sector, people are using the blockchain to show the paperwork, when the commodities are being transferred from one country to another one.
It's a pain in the ass, and now it could be instant.
Exactly. Paperwork is going to also ease paperwork. So many things that we can look at.
The other thing is there's no more dollar and pound, or like it doesn't matter. It's a Bitcoin, so it doesn't matter what your transaction is over there. I'm going to send you this blockchain money, and then you can transform it to whatever country or whatever thing you want. But now I don't have to worry about like what does this convert to that, and what does that convert to that, and
exactly.
But the other thing, like hearing you talk about this, is like I don't see how the banks like this. Right? I don't see how the more we discuss it, I obviously see the elimination of a lot of fees, the elimination of a lot of need for all these people that right now are in the middle of all our transactions, right? Because it's all people, right? And it's a whole banking institution, but it's all really people and investors and all this stuff that you mentioned BlackRock at the beginning, right? And so I kind of see that they're seeing it because they're investing in it now and they're trying to get into it. But the whole idea, I think, is to get them out, or not to get them out, but to ease it from what they have now, because what they cause now is a lot of fees and a lot of time that is unnecessary. I don't know what your experience is on that.
I guess it's going to change the relation we have with banks for sure. It's in a generation, the banking system, of course, will be totally different.
Yeah,
different form. But I guess in the sense of decentralization, maybe it's going to be fragmented. Maybe you will have, instead of like the bank being few actors, maybe you will have many guys in different cities helping, to build smart contract to allow this kind of transaction, because it's, some parameter to put into account. You have people to know about it. So I guess it will be really fractionalized. Maybe you will have few guys in many cities representing some this kind of transaction, or this other tool to help to get rid of papers in contract. So I see it more like that.
I do see like a training of us through like Cash App, Zelle, these apps that now are in between our transactions. There's still like a banking form, but now you're doing it on your phone more, and you don't really feel like it's First National Bank, right?
Yes.
You feel like it's Zelle and it's me and you, like we're splitting a check for lunch, right? And so that's already getting us familiar to like us exchanging and combining or splitting or sending each other money without the need of like, let me write you a check, let me give you my credit card, let me do this. I'm just typing in my phone. Right. And I think the future of blockchain is probably that. And we're getting trained for that.
Yeah. And to come back to the banking system, at the beginning, they didn't want about blockchain. They were kind of reluctant also, because they felt, okay, that's a threat. So let's not talk about it. Let's maybe in some department, let's make some R&D to follow what's going on. But they were not involved at all. And then they understood that this wave is unstoppable. It's inevitable. So now I guess the banking system we have to
embrace
it. If you are smart, you have to embrace it and help to this change. And you have to be open-minded to find these maybe new opportunities in business for them to adapt. And it's very blurry. The future is very blurry, but they have to take this risk. The banks that will be reluctant and want to keep this old system, they're going to die for sure. So you have to take the ride and take the risk with the economy, because it's not going to stop. And it's ongoing. And I guess BlackRock understood that.
That's what I was going to say. It was very strange to me, that part, not because BlackRock. I mean, I understand that they see the future and they're looking at it and they're like, this is, there's no way it's not going to happen. But it happened right after the, what is it, FTX or whatever those guys were, right?
Bankrupt.
Yeah. So it happened right after like a failure, let's call it, or like a fraud, or like something that perceived like that, right? I understand that all that money got made back now, which is really strange, from the investment that this guy had. But like everybody got paid back. But the point was that after you see something like that could scare people off blockchain, right? And immediately BlackRock was like, no, this is going to happen. It doesn't matter if that fraud that was huge and massive, right? There's a guy in jail because of it. It's still, BlackRock thought this is secure. We're going to do it. And it just has to be done in this way or whatever, they're looking still at the future as it.
But the approach that BlackRock had was the same. At the beginning, Larry Fink was calling the blockchain a fraud.
Right.
Back in the
days. Of course, everybody. Right. Well, because it's also not convenient for them.
Yeah,
right?
I can understand. They've been established for such a long time. It's comfortable. Everything's going fine. And then there is this. Let's not take it seriously. And they were pushed by that. And now, you talk to Larry Fink. He goes,
that's what I've heard.
The money channels.
Yeah.
And
he's gung-ho.
He's like, he understood that. It took time. It takes time. It takes time for sure. And yeah, BlackRock leading the way. I guess they will tokenize lots of stuff, and they will be part of this transformation. And if I can give ideas, there are some young people listening to this podcast and opportunities. I guess maybe also in AI, but I guess in blockchain, you gotta see what are the possibilities, what it is, and learn about it. And there will be lots of opportunities. Even right now, it's moving right now. So there is this train is en route, going very fast, and it's very hard to position yourself
Yeah.
because there are so many things to develop, but it's big opportunity, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody can should learn about it, and if you want good jobs or good opportunity, and the job market is changing also, you have to be independent. And school also, sometimes they don't follow the market. It takes some time to get a master degree maybe in this area. There are some I've seen, but really to be practical, you have now everything online. You have everything with podcast, and educate yourself, and you can make a big change. Yeah.
You can also test that. That's what I was going to tell you is like a friend of mine, because I was having a conversation like this with him, just a normal conversation. But he was an investor, and he told me, look, it doesn't matter how you do it. Just buy some. He goes, don't buy a lot. Just buy some and just hold it. He goes, don't do anything. Buy some, and then if you remember, buy some more, and then just buy some more. I bought Ethereum.
Okay.
So I have Ethereum right now.
Okay,
I haven't
cool.
sold it since he told me.
Okay.
I bought it, and then
Which year?
Huh?
Which year?
Oh, I bought it probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't buy a lot or anything, but now I see the changes, right? Like I all of a sudden I open it up. I don't open it up all the time. Just once in a while I open it up and like, holy crap, I made some money.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, I'm even, or sometimes it goes down,
It's
right?
very
It's like
volatile.
it's volatile. But that's what he told me, right? He's like, don't worry about it, just let it go. Right? It's just some money that's there, but you can at least monitor it and see how this works.
Exactly.
Right. And so that's what I've been doing. And just with Ethereum, I'm just like looking at it. I'm not really concerned about it. It's not a big investment or anything, but I get to understand it a little more because I'm actually playing with it. Right. And I'm like looking at it once in a while, I put another $100, $500 in there and just leave it. And he's like, look, just leave it. By the time it's 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you're gonna be like, glad you did. So
exactly.
he's like, exactly. Just don't think about it. Like most people think, I think because of the stories that in a year I'm going to be rich because I put in $1,000, and it's not going to work that way. Right. So I think that's a lot of it where like, there's a lot of great stories out there of people that became very wealthy because of blockchain or because of Bitcoin or one of these. But the reality is for most people, it's a way to get into these decentralized investments that are probably the global future of money, I would think, right?
Yeah, it is. And Ethereum has a lot of, it's already like, it's a huge technical innovation, but it's going to lead the way because from this blockchain, you can create so much apps. So it's going to develop from.
I heard about the smart contracts through that. I was like, Ethereum is going to be the base of smart contracts. And that's the only reason I did it. I was like, oh, smart contracts. I was like, because everybody's doing Bitcoin. I was like, what if I go the smart contract way? Yeah. But still a big one, which is like, more likely to survive forever.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's going to do amazing things.
Because I don't think Dogecoin is surviving for, I don't know if it is.
That's your idea. I have another one because I'm really into that field. And no, Dogecoin, I have... it's going to have a good future because it's the anti-inflationary currency that you have emission of crypto all the time so that it keeps a standard price where Bitcoin is limited, so it's going to reach eventually a top. And it's more for small transaction. It's more likely to be used because it's recent. Then you don't want to buy a coffee with 0.1 Bitcoin.
That, yeah.
It makes more sense.
Here's $2. Yeah, here's $2.
Yeah, Dogecoin, somehow it could reach like $1, $2 value. So it's more like to our way of life is the crypto that is more likely to be embraced because it's easy to understand.
Yes.
It corresponds to $1. So that's I guess, a nice bridge to go for the people.
And easier to understand also. Like
fun,
instead of all these fractions.
Of the
yeah.
It's so fun.
It's hilarious. So the reason I bought it was because it was Super Bowl like 2-3 years ago. And there was a rumor here because of Elon that they had bought a Super Bowl commercial that day, right? So I usually, just for fun, I don't gamble a lot, but I usually gamble at the Super Bowl just for fun. So I was like, instead of the Super Bowl, I'm gonna buy Dogecoin and see if they do the commercial. Right? It was my gamble, and they didn't have a commercial, but because of the noise of it, it went up that week like a bunch, and I like doubled or tripled the money. It wasn't a lot, but I was like, oh, look, it worked. It was gambling to me at that point, but it was a lot of fun, and I started understanding Dogecoin and I started following that and figuring it out, and it's to me it's a lot of fun. Like I think we're in an era where with AI and blockchain and that the future is like we're barely starting to see it. Like we can now visualize it. You know, I'm looking at robots now, which is crazy, on TV or on my phone all the time now, right? They're popping up all the time. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is going to happen, right? The movies about having a robot helping you out at your house that turn bad, but hopefully they're not turn bad in real life, but we're going to have robots, right? We're going to do, these things are coming, right? The decentralized money is coming. And so I think that we're in a fascinating time.
Yeah, we are in the moment of shift of society.
Yeah.
But it's when you take a look back and you start to think about it and how the technology adoption has been like it's exponential. So you know, even this is going to be very, very fast.
Yes.
So that's why it's good right now to search to develop good project, make foundation with the right people, and by itself, like a market is cleaning. So blockchain is still blurry, crypto, but you can see like over time only the right project survive. And I guess it's the same with AI. And the point of AI to me, it's the way you set up the parameters.
Right.
For me, that's the most concern.
Of course. Yeah.
Part about it, because you can do anything.
Yeah.
You can create whatever, but you know, how do you set up this parameter? And maybe this parameter has to be public.
Right.
That's the only way to make it, you know, I guess.
And could you tie that parameter to the blockchain?
Yeah.
So everybody can see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a public patent. And it's very funny. I had this talk lately with some people with AI, which is not my field, but I kind of see from, you know, far away.
I think it's everybody's field now.
Yeah. And of course, we talked about Elon Musk and the Optimus project.
Right.
And this guy is a huge, successful entrepreneur. And I guess it's very liberal. You know, you have to be able to create in the right condition. It's very important. And the same he did with X. Even if, you know, I disagree with you, you have the right to speak. And very liberal guy, very smart, is one of the biggest voice to say we have to control and monitor how you parameter AI.
Right.
So you have to understand that.
Yeah.
Somebody really open for anything, he says, watch out.
No, I just finished a podcast of, and I don't know their names, so I feel bad, but there's these two guys, they were with Joe Rogan a couple weeks ago, and they were associated with Altman, the OpenAI guy, and they're from Silicon Valley, and they decided to sell all their tech, all their AI tech that they had, and go to Washington and start telling Washington what's happening and how they should get involved right away. And they made that the mission of their company. Yeah. It's like, how do we regulate this? And how do we make sure that Washington understands? Because, you know, there's a lot of old people in Washington. So it's like, how do we make them understand that this is happening? And because if they don't, these guys are just going to go crazy. Right. So that was, to me, like, it's incredible that we still have really good people that decide to be like, hey, you know what? Instead of dedicating my knowledge to just making money, it's like, why don't I like help like figure this out so that humanity doesn't get like these robots that kill us and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's sometimes it's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. It's both. It's scary and it's fun and it's exciting, but it's everything at once. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've tried to have fun with large language models and stuff, and the way you parameter. It's from my minimum of understanding, that's I see all the potential, and at the same time all the
negative parts. Yeah, of course.
And this will be hard to regulate if we don't do it right now.
That's what these guys are trying to do. Help in that sense because they really understand it. They were there from the beginning. Their first company was with Altman. Like their first, like they're really in there, and so they're like, how do we help regulate this? Because if not, it's going to get out of control.
Yeah.
And when they said when we went to Washington, they didn't. This is with this. I'm talking about 2015 or 2000. Like this isn't like right now that they went. They went back then. They understood it back then, and they were like, this is coming. Whatever I don't care what you think, it's coming.
It's already there.
Yeah, it's already there. Yeah.
So it's already there. We don't even know.
So to close it up, I want to talk about, well, how long is Louis 22 remaining in Brownsville?
Yeah, I'm going to stay 1 more month here.
Okay.
I'm trying to put together an event.
That was the other question. Is there other stuff that we can expect from the collective in our area?
Yeah. There are one other project that we are developing. That's going to be a surprise.
That's awesome.
In a month's time. And also I want to make an event and welcoming people to maybe have a talk about blockchain, art, digital art, and what we are doing here. And then, having a cool moment, with some music, some food trucks. So we would like to do that by the wall. That's on the way to SpaceX.
By the mural? Yeah.
By the mural. So yeah, I'm putting that together also. So let's see. Maybe in a month's time. That's the aim.
That's awesome, man. So everybody stay tuned. We will, and Beyond Media, will post when that's happening and we'll make everybody aware so that we can make it a fun event. And Louis, thank you, man. This is great. It at least creates a lot of excitement. And thank you for coming. Man, thank you for having the conversation. I hope people now understand what's going on. And man, this is pretty exciting, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Louis.